My name is Shaun Somerton. I work for Legion Scaffolding. The project we're currently on is the Link building, 227 City Road, and it's for the reclad due to the fire risks currently in London. So the reason why we used PERI scaffolding and the Easy and also the Flex is because of the less fire risk. Everything is metal. Obviously with traditional scaffolding you're going to get boards that can be combustible, so essentially you're putting a bonfire outside a flammable building. So we've gone for the metal decks, metal toe boards and metal system. We found PERI very easy to use. As we all know, it's light, the safety factors built in, the safeguard, handrail as you push it up. It makes it really easy to install. Also the decks, locking decks that go down, prevents you from the boards from flying up. The safety factor is key to this. The other reasons are obviously the adverse weather conditions we've currently had in London. You find a lot of the traditional scaffolding, the boards are flying up, they become like a trip hazard or a risk of falling over, additional tubes and what have you. So with this system it locks everything down and it's safe and accessible at all times. Normally, traditionally, we're averaging about 10 to 13 square a day in scaffold terms to install independent scaffold with tube and fitting. On this system, we was averaging about 30 to 35, maybe even 40 per day. Completely different in relation to the tube and fitting. The prelims are safe for the client. You have less time on site, less canteen, welfare, etc. The benefits are massive, but like anything, you know, it has to be planned right. That way you can execute it with perfection. The ball noses or the turns or the splays as we call it in our industry, we found that this works perfectly. The way that you can adapt and modify and come around corners is actually unique. I've not seen that anywhere else. The product sort of allows for a nice flush finish. The cover plates will go around on the ball nose, but also leaving the adaptions on the internal section. So double legs at the front, inside building, and single legs at the back. And it becomes, you know, a pretty unique sort of install and very, very pleasing to the eye. Found working with PERI relatively easy. Mark's knowledge again is second to none, so with him involved it's been really quite simple and quite easy. The complications we found on site was the gas flumes. Some of the standards were hitting directly in line or some of the ledges were directly in line with the gas flumes. What we've been able to do with this system is we're actually able to stop a bay, completely leave it out, still continuing with the progress, and then installing it later once the gas men was, you know, informed. So that was really, really good factor, and it allowed us to carry on. So without that, we would have to stop. So I would recommend if anyone's to use this system, go down to Brentwood and use the system prior to going on site. Try and get a little bit more knowledge before actually trying to install it on site, because it's all down to the base out, it's all down to knowing the size of the components and the measurements. It's really key to take a lot of time into the planning, but the savings is massive. You know, you're going to save, you know, half your program as long as you have the right planning.